So welcome everybody to our gentle yoga class this morning. Let me go back to that view, gallery view, there we go. Today, the theme of our class is called The Eyes Have It. I was trying to be kind of funny. The eyes, here Millie's gonna get herself in, wonderful, she's figured it out. So the eyes are really important in terms of how we interact with our environment. We're going to talk a lot about the eyes, and we're going to look at the positioning of the eyes in our yoga asana. And we don't think about that as much as like, where's our hip joint or where's our arm? But I want to talk about the eyes because where the eyes go, the mind goes. And when we practice yoga, we really want to be trying to think about what's going on with our minds, more so even than what's going on with our bodies. So generally, eyes are associated with the fire element because it requires light for eyes to function. So the fire element in terms of our body is more in the middle part of the body, around the solar plexus. So expect some postures that affect the middle part of the body. And also the eyes are controlled by some nerves that are the most foremost nerves in the body. So if we're standing in mountain pose, the optic nerves are the most forward. So it's kind of like little antennae going out there in the world, looking around and trying to absorb your environment. So we're going to do some things to help to soften the optic nerve and soften the messages going into the brain and help you relax a little bit. So what do you say we start lying down this morning? Take a constructive rest position. So that would be lying down on your back, feet on the floor, making sure that you're warm enough in your room. With your sweater or socks on is fine. And let's just take a moment to kind of maybe even close the eyes. So cut off the sensory input into the eyes as best as we can. And while you're just relaxing in this position for a few minutes at the beginning of class, let's work on softening a little bit around the face and the head. For example, feel the weight of your head sinking into your floor, or if you're using a pillow, that's fine. Let the weight of your head sinking into the floor or the pillow bring a sense of perhaps softening or relaxation to the throat, the neck. Allow your jaw to relax. Allow the tongue muscle itself to relax. Kind of pool in the bottom of your throat. And let your forehead smooth and soften as best as you can. Feel the weight of your eyelids over your actual eyeballs. And give your eyeballs permission to sink backwards and towards your skull. Let the eyeballs be heavy if you can. And just notice when you kind of focus on relaxing around the eyes and the eyeballs themselves, it can bring a wave of contentment, or it can bring a wave of ease to other areas in your body. So we begin to notice at this beginning part of our class how much tension you might be investing in seeing and trying to understand and grasping what the world has to offer. So in our yoga class, we can just sort of let that go for a little bit, not be pulling the world in through our eyes, but receiving softly. Maybe your eyes are closed so that you can practice doing that right now. Okay. Let's come into a little bit of easy movement. As I said, the eyes are associated with the fire element because of the light required to make your eyes function. And the fire element in our body can be felt around the solar plexus. So we'll be doing some work to really stimulate the core today. So let's start to take some deeper breaths, some more on purpose breaths in and out through the nose. Start to notice the movement in the middle of your body. As you breathe in, it might expand a little bit. And as you breathe out, it might gently contract. Keep working with this deliberate and full breath as we bring some movement in. So as you inhale, let's straighten out the right leg on the floor. And as you exhale, bring the right knee in towards your chest. And you can kind of grab a hold of your thigh bone there a bit if you want. And then inhale, let's straighten that back out. And then exhale, bring the right leg in. Hug it in towards the chest. Beautiful. Let's do that for 3 more breaths. Trying to breathe pretty deeply, pretty fully here. And allowing yourself lots of time with this movement. So right knee coming into the chest. 1 more breath, 1 more breath. And then let's hold the right knee in towards the chest. I usually hang on to my thigh bone, or even the pants are fine. While you're here, let's take some time to wiggle the toes, the right toes, roll the right ankle around in both directions. Good. And then take your hands to the thigh bone or hold on to the pant leg. As you inhale, straighten your leg up to the ceiling and hold it there for a moment, really flexing the ankle, pushing the heel up towards the ceiling or away from you, and really stretching out the back of the leg. Try not to use too much pulling with your hands here. Just let your leg do its thing on its own. Good. 1 more breath. And then we can fold the right knee, place the right foot on the floor, and take a breath in and out. Again, observing the movement in the middle of your body as you breathe in and breathe out. Trying to keep your focus there as much as you can now. Take an inhale, stretch the left leg out on the floor. Exhale, bring the knee in towards the chest. And let's do this for about 4 more breaths, just like we did on the other side. Nice and slow. No need to rush. And then the next time that you hug the left knee in, grab a hold of the thigh bone, and let's take advantage of this position to really warm up through the left foot a little bit. So toes wiggling, ankle rolling around in both directions. And then we'll take an inhale as we straighten the leg and hold the left leg elevated. Keep the ankle quite flexed so you're pushing energy out the left heel. And you don't have to use your hands here. You can let the leg stay up on its own, really stretching out the back of the leg, but quite naturally, not forcing that. 1 more breath. And then let's let both feet come back to the floor. Let's separate the feet so they're as wide as your mat, or they could be a bit wider. You're going to start to come into some windshield wiper-like action here. So let's inhale while the knees are center, exhale as they gently drop to one side, and go back and forth with a slow, even-paced breath. Good. There's no pressure to get the legs all the way to touch the floor. In fact, I prefer they didn't this early in your practice. I would like to keep the focus, if we can, on the middle of the body and notice what this movement does to the movement of the middle of your body. So notice as you drop the legs from side to side that there might be a little pulling or stretching right up into the belly area. So this movement can be a focus on stoking the fire in the middle part of the body. Now, what would happen if we let the knees rest over towards the right side? So letting your left knee drop in, but bring the right knee back up to center. So the left knee's dropped to the right, but the right knee has now come back up to center. Right knee is center to the ceiling. The inner left knee is on its way towards the floor. If you need more space between your legs, take your feet wider and do the best that you can to let the inner left knee relax into gravity. So you're not pushing or pulling. You're just allowing that left knee to kind of roll inward and away from you. If you wanted to now, we could take some movement into the left arm. So slowly begin to bring the left arm along the floor. You can bend the elbow if you want. And as you inhale, slide the left arm up the floor to the shoulder height and even beyond, back towards the back of your head. And then as you exhale, slide the arm back down the floor. It's like you're doing a one-armed snow angel movement with that left arm. Let's do that for maybe 3 more breaths. So left arm moving up and back down. You can also have some movement in the head if you like. Now the head stays heavy to the floor, but as you inhale and roll the arm up, you can roll the cheek over towards the right and then come back down. So you can introduce a little bit of a head roll as the arm comes up towards behind you. Let's do that one more time. And you may choose at this point now to leave your left arm in this upward position, leave your gaze over towards the right, and just take a couple deeper breaths yet into that left lung, into the left side of your ribs. And you may notice your belly having interesting sensations on the left side, deep inside the belly. Okay, last breath here. And then please bring your head back to center. Let your arm trace along the floor, back to your side. Lift your left leg up, knee point straight to the ceiling. You may have to bring your left foot a bit more in front of the left sitting bone, and step your right foot out and let your right knee drop inward. Yes, so we're doing the exact same thing on the other side now. Left knee directly facing the ceiling, left foot firmly planted, but the right leg is internally rotated. There's no pressure to get the inner right knee to the floor. I just want you to try to let it succumb to gravity as best as you can. After you've got settled into this position, you can bring the arm movement on this side. So start with just the arm. Inhale, arm traces up along the floor, comes to shoulder height, maybe even back beyond your head. Elbow can be bent if you want. And then exhale, bring it back down along your side. So the arm stays really intimate with the floor the whole time. And then after that becomes comfortable, you may choose to roll your head to look towards the left as you inhale and lift the arm. You want to make sure you're leaving the weight of the head heavy. And wouldn't it be lovely to work with closed eyes throughout this? So you're continuing that softening of reaching out into your environment through the eyes. The next time your arm comes up, you may decide to hold the position for a few breaths, really exaggerating your attention into the right lung now, the right armpit, the right rib cage, the right side of your belly. And then let's release the head back to center, the arm back to your side. Step the right foot back in towards the center of your mat and your knee will come up on its own. There we go. So we're back into our constructive rest. Let's do one more thing from this position just to kind of prepare our inner body, the belly area for a lot of activity today. I'm going to ask you if you could take your knees into the chest and then stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Take your arms back behind you, where they were before. So if they don't touch the floor, that's okay, but just stretch them back as far as they'll go. Now take an inhale here. As you exhale, hug the knees into the chest. You can bring the arms forward to do that. And then inhale, spread yourself right back out. Arms and legs lift. Exhale, knees into the chest. Now, while you're doing this for a few more breaths, move as slowly as you can so you can really fine tune the movement. Notice your back stays nice and firm to the floor. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, wherever you are in your movement, the back is fully aligned to the floor. And hopefully you're starting to feel a little heat, a little bit of cooking happening in the middle part of your body. This is your fire element starting to stoke up a little bit. I'm going to take that into some postures now. Wonderful. Let's keep the knees bent into your body. Next time you're there, roll over to your side. Take your time. And please press up to all fours. Press up to your table pose position. And if you would prefer to use a chair today in table pose, that's fine. The mechanics are all going to be the same. Make sure you have lots of space between your arms and your legs in your table pose so that you have lots of room for your back to move. Okay. So thinking a lot about the middle part of your body now. Inhale here. Exhale, gather the muscles in firmly to your spine and round out into cat back, but move from the belly. Yeah. Now inhale, relax a little bit and stretch your belly as long lengthwise as you can. So make your belly as long and parallel to the floor as you can. Now exhale, gather the muscles in and arch out into cat back. And then inhale, elongate the front of your body. Increase the space between the pubis bone to the navel to the breastbone to the notch in your throat. And go back and forth like that for a few more long breaths. So there's not a whole lot going on with your neck. You're not looking up, you're not looking down. You're really moving the middle part of your body. In fact, your eyes could be closed here because we want to stoke that fire. We want to pull some of the energy that you put into trying to seek out your environment through your eyes, pull it back into the center of your body here. Let's take one more breath. And on your next exhale, would you like to press back into child's pose? Now, if it's difficult for you to hold child's pose this early in the day, no, you can inhale back up to all fours and then push your hips back towards the heels. You can move with your breath. This is a little kinder on the knees and low back this early in the day. Okay. And now let's bring ourselves up to a standing position, up to mountain pose. Take your time. I need to just adjust my props so I don't have any blankets or anything on my mat. I just have my nice bare mat to work on today. Okay. So as we often do in mountain pose, place your feet with intention into the floor. There's a small space between your feet and they're parallel. Lift and spread your toes. Get the muscles of your feet awake this morning. You can take your feet, kind of massage them into the floor, rolling around on different spots on your feet until you feel like you're very aware of that connection. And then when you're ready, press particularly down under the big toe mound, so right here, and the outside edge of your heel. So simultaneously pressing on the big toe mound and the outside edge of the heel. So there's a lot of dispersion of weight throughout your foot. Now, when you press on those two places on your foot in particular, you'll notice your legs become more aware of where you are. And I want us to see if we can get that electricity to come up, 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 right into the center of the body. We're going to do a quick little bit of breathing exercise here to get even more energy into the body. So keeping your feet that alive, step them a little bit further apart and bend the knees. Take the hands to your thighs. And come a little closer to the screen and turn sideways. So maybe this will be a bit more obvious. I'm going to move my arms out. You keep your hands on your thighs, but I'm going to move my arms out so you can see the belly a little bit better. You can keep your hands on the thighs. So bend the knees, nice long spine. Take a big breath in. Allow the belly to change shape as you breathe in. And then breathe out and pull the belly in like you did from hands and knees a moment ago. Inhale, belly relaxes and moves out. Exhale, belly pulls in. Now notice my back is not changing shape. I'm not doing cat pose. I'm keeping a nice strong spine, but I'm really moving the belly. Let's take one more breath like that. And then on your inhale, keep the knees bent, walk your hands up your body, and readjust into mountain pose. So we've got hopefully a lot more fire stoked in the belly. Let's take this into a little bit of side-to-side movement. Now, if balance is a bit of an issue today, know that your feet can still stay a little bit further apart. I'm going with traditional mountain pose status. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, take the arms up as wide as you can, as high as you can. And as you exhale, lean over to your left. Inhale, come back up, and exhale, lean over to the right. Now, I'm really working on keeping my hips aligned over top of my ankles, so I'm not pushing my hips out to the side. And I'm really working on stretching the side body. This is another way to kind of get in there and stoke that fire. If you want a little extra layer of challenge this morning, close your eyes and give your balance just a little extra layer of challenge. This is my last time to each side. When you feel like you've evened out from side to side, we'll come back to center and relax the arms back down into a basic mountain pose. Take a breath in and out. Oops, we've got somebody that's coming in. Just give me a quick second here. Oh, I thought we had somebody who was trying to come in. Maybe not. Sorry about that. Okay, so from the basic mountain pose, turn sideways on your mat. Take your feet fairly wide apart. So we've been trying to soften the eyes quite a bit in our practice so far today. We've tried to relax them a little bit, and we've tried to get more attention into the middle of the body. Now we're going to take that refined energy and direct it somewhere. So before we come into this posture, maybe you'd like to take a moment to intellectually or through your thoughts, decide where you'd like to take the practice today. What sort of goal or intention might you have for the rest of your day? Maybe there's a particular task you want to get to. Maybe you want to gather energy to get outside and do some gardening. What would you like to get accomplished today? Have that fresh in your mind. Let's take the right leg, rotate the right leg out so the toes are pointing to the short edge of your mat. And then take your left leg and roll it in a little bit. So the left toes are kind of pointing that way too. Press into those points in the feet we've been talking about, so the big toe mound and the outside of the heel, and then bend your knee. When your knee is bent, it's hopefully right over top of the ankle and pointing in the same direction as those right toes. Bring your spine to an upright position. Lengthen the belly the way you did from all fours a moment ago. And when you're ready, we'll inhale, open the arms, and turn gently to look down that right middle finger. Now, I would love it if you could find a way to look beyond the right middle finger, sighting your target, so to speak. We call this in yoga the drishti. Focus your eyes in that place out to the right, and really focus on your intention or whatever you wanted to direct your energy to today, whatever task was on your mind, and just feel the power in your body being directed through your gaze to the successful completion of that task. We'll just take one more breath here in Warrior Two. And then release the arms, release the knee, turn the feet so that they're parallel to each other again, and we'll just relax for a moment. If you're able to close the eyes right here and relax them a little bit, you could do that. Sometimes that might give you a dizzy feeling, so we don't want to bring that on. And let's do Warrior Two pose on the other side. So rotating right from the thigh bone out to the left, letting the right leg come in a little bit too, so that there's some comfort in the low back and around the hip joints. Press particularly into the big toe mound and the outside edge of the heel as you bend the knee. And ensuring that your knee is over top of the ankle, pointing in the same direction as the toes. Here we go into warrior two. As you inhale, gently turning the head to look down that left middle finger now. Now, it's important for us to find some ease in our pose, not just with the eyeballs, but also with shoulders and wrists. So a little bend is fine in any of the joints. But our gaze, if we can, is penetrating towards the left, out that left middle finger in particular, really focusing on what we want to accomplish today, where we want to go with this. One more breath. And then releasing the posture, coming back to parallel feet. Now, if you know folding forward all the way to the ground is going to be a bit difficult, you could have a chair handy and just fold to the seat of the chair. Or you can have blocks if you're blessed to have those at home. Either one of those variations works exactly the same. We're going to come into a forward fold now, as much as you feel comfortable. So hinging right here from below the bumper bones, right in the hip joints, soften the knees. And as you exhale, forward folding. Hands coming to blocks, to the chair, or to the ground, whatever works best for you. And holding this position, closing your eyes if you can, and welcoming the eyeballs to soften. There's nothing really to see here. And let that softening come deep into the brain. Soften your jaw. Make sure that the channel of the neck and throat is open and relaxed. Okay, and then let's slowly come up out of this posture, back up to an upright position. And bring your feet towards each other. And back into mountain pose. Okay. So making sure your mat is cleared off of props. Just choose one edge of your mat. So I'm going to turn my computer down so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing with my feet. There we go. So I've chosen one edge of my mat here. We're going to do a little bit of simple walking, but when you go very slow and break it down, it can be a bit more challenging. So you've done this posture, but probably in a gentle yoga class before. We call it walk the rope or walk the line. We simply walk along the edge of the mat, forward for a little bit, and then if you feel confident, you can go backwards. We're going to add the element of eyes today. So before we start to walk, as you're at the end of your mat getting ready, take a few of those deep breaths that we did from the bent over position. You don't have to bend over this time, but take a few of those breaths so you really start to feel the energy in the belly again. You feel the fire here. And then when you get ready to walk, we want to really be moving the legs from this place in the body, from the belly. Let's start with the gaze down at the floor along the line on which you want to walk now. Very slowly, gazing down at the floor, lots of fire in the belly, begin to walk the line. And notice how slowly I'm moving. And as I lift this leg, I'm lifting right from here. I'm lifting my belly up to lift the leg. And then by placing it back down, now I'm on the other side. I'm feeling the connection of the leg right up into the belly. Now, when you've walked all the way the length of your mat, you can start going backwards, trying to keep that same focus. Now your gaze is down at the floor. You can't see where you're going now, but at least your gaze is grounded to the earth. If going forward is the only way that you feel you can do this safely today, then just turn around as you get to the top of your mat and walk the other way. So we're going very slowly, moving the legs from the belly, awareness of breath in the belly as we work. So if you don't want to walk backwards, you can do this and then just turn around and go forwards again as you return. Now, what if this is getting too easy for you and you feel quite grounded and you're feeling very relaxed, you can take the challenge up, not only by walking backwards, by lifting your gaze now straight ahead of you. So don't look down at the floor, walking back and forth, looking straight ahead. And then if you're getting really bored, and that's still not enough challenge, close your eyes. So we'll take just another back and forth on your mat, whatever you're choosing to do today. So really trying to move the legs from the belly. You'll notice you have much better confidence and balance when you move the legs from the belly instead of from the feet up. Okay, let's come back to mountain pose. I'm going to turn my computer back up a little bit. There we go. And then let's bring our chair into our practice this morning. So I'm going to grab my chair, make sure that it's really firm. I'm using my wall to make sure it won't move at all. You can just place the legs of the chair on your mat. It might be okay that way. And let's come into lunge pose. So I'm going to take my hands to the chair. I'm stepping my, let's go this way. I'm going to step my left leg all the way back to find lunge. So my right knee is over top of my ankle, just like it was in Warrior a little while ago. And my left leg is very straight and strong. I've got a good relationship between each of my feet and the floor. Okay, so when we're ready, we're going to come into a little bit of twisting, and we'll be twisting towards the right. We want to think a lot about the middle part of the body again. So this is where you want to have that action. Remember this we were doing before? See if you can get that kind of action happening in your belly as you twist. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift the right arm up alongside your ear. Exhale, pull the belly muscles in like you did before, and then twist out to the right. Inhale, back to center, arms alongside your ear. Exhale, pull the belly muscles in and turn to the right. Try that a couple more times. Just coming over to peek at your movement here. You want lots of action in the belly muscles, just like you did when you were in that kind of football stance. Let's do this one more time. Don't worry about how high your arm comes up. Really move the arm from the belly, just like you move the leg from the belly. Good. Good. So let's stay in the twist this time. Drop your right arm to your sacrum. Good. So drop your right hand to your sacrum. Hold the twist. Now peek back out of the corner of your eye. Is your right knee still square to the chair? It hasn't winged out to the side? Yeah. Okay, good. Now turn the belly to the right and take one deep breath, trying to create movement in your belly even though you're holding the twist. And Linda dear, you no need to take your gaze that far over to the right. Okay. And then let's inhale back to center, step your legs together, take a moment in mountain pose. You're welcome to sit down on the chair if you want seated mountain. So we noticed for some of us when we were in that twist that we were really almost being greedy, reaching out into our environment to see further to the right. Can you be aware of your eyes in this next side so that you're really working with the fire in the belly? You're not trying to grab life through your eyes. And I'll try to explain that better as we get into the pose. So let's take the hands to the chairs. This time we'll step the right leg back. Strong in the legs. And probably you want your left knee pretty close to the chair so your arms aren't too stretched out. Your shoulders are more or less over your wrists. Something like that. Yeah. Very strong right leg now. Okay. Ready to move? Inhale, you're going to lift up the left arm alongside your ear. And then exhale, twisting over towards the left. Inhale, arm comes forward alongside the ear. And exhale, you're twisting towards the left, pulling those belly muscles in really actively. Now, if you keep the arm right beside your ear, You will control where you look, right? You won't be able to crank and crane your neck way up to the left because your arm is protecting you. Watch where your gaze goes and realize how greedy you might have been on the right side. I wonder how greedy we are in everyday life and how that might be affecting the tension in our neck. Next time you come into the twist towards the left, let your hand drop back to your sacrum, but keep your gaze right where it was when the arm was protecting your neck. You don't need to look way over your left shoulder here. Good. And making the belly move, just like we've been practicing. And then inhale, come back to center, find mountain pose. Just let me know, did your neck feel safer? Did your neck feel less tension the second time because you were protecting where your gaze went? Okay. Let's take the hands to the seat of the chair and push back into downward facing dog. Keep your knees bent. Try to stretch out your arms so that your ears are in between your upper arms. Your gaze is down at the floor, maybe towards your toes, but not back in between your legs. If it's possible to close your eyes, soften your gaze. Take one more nice deep breath, making the middle part of your body move. Okay, and then walking up towards the chair again. We're going to take a slightly deeper twist now. You're welcome to hang on to the back of the chair to help with balance. We're going to lift the right foot up onto the chair seat, knee right over top of the ankle. Now, if that proved to be difficult, you could use a stack of books or a yoga block and just lift your foot up onto a lower height if lifting it up all the way onto the chair seat causes any pain in your knee or your hip joint. Okay, so both feet are facing straight towards the chair, especially the foot on the floor. You want that leg in neutral. This knee is over top of the ankle, and our back is nice and long and strong. Again, we're going to bring awareness to the belly. Inhale, elongate the front of the belly. Exhale, gather the muscles in and come into your twist. Now this time we can maybe hold the twist right from the start because we've warmed up a lot through lunge pose. We're going to bring in a little isometric action now. So this arm, the left arm, is pressing against the leg, but the leg is trying to move out. And the two limbs are having a little talk right now, what's happening. So the arm's pushing in, the leg's pushing out. Now take that friction or that tension right into your belly. Use that to fire up the belly muscles. Relax your shoulders. And then we're going to turn our head very gently. So letting your gaze move towards the right shoulder and then slowly moving it back towards the left shoulder. Now you're only turning the head as much as is comfortable for your neck today, no strain whatsoever. And the way your nose is pointing is the way your gaze is following, no further. So you're not straining your eyes to go further to the right or the left. Your nose and your eyes are facing in exactly the same direction. Perfect. That's a lot of work. So let's release that. Come back to mountain pose. Take a nice deep breath. And then you can take your left foot up onto the chair or whatever support is more appropriate on this side. Make sure both sets of toes are facing straight ahead. The feet are still parallel. And your left knee is over top of the left ankle. Stand up nice and tall. Gather the belly in as we've been practicing, then twist towards the left, taking your right arm around to the outside of the leg. Yeah. Left arm around behind you. Yeah, good. Okay. Now create the isometric work. Right arm pressing against the left leg and vice versa. So you can feel the energy building in the belly here. There's stability. There's fire in the belly. Now, if you want to, you can start the slow turn side to side of your head. Discipline your eyes to stay right with the place where your nose is pointing. We want to often grab a hold of something beyond the horizon. So Millie, you're twisted towards your left leg. Yeah, your left arm is around behind you and your right arm is across the leg. One more breath as you turn the gaze gently. Okay, and then release slowly. Excellent work. All right. Whew. I want to do one more thing with twisting. We were doing a lot of abdominal fire building today. So let's get the chairs to sit on now. If you have a yoga block handy, I often put it in between the knees for seated twists, so I make sure I stabilize the pelvis. It's a personal preference, as I have low back and hip crankiness sometimes. Okay. I'm going to work with the gaze here. So inhale, nice and long through the spine. Exhale, gather the belly muscles in and twist over towards the right. So let your chin align right over top of your breastbone so your neck is neutral. The twist is happening here in the body, not in the neck. And then we'll do the same thing that we did when we were on the standing twist a moment ago. Turning the head to the right shoulder, and then turning the head to the left shoulder. Good. Just do that a couple times, only moving the neck as much as is completely natural. You're not trying to stretch anything here. You're just moving normally. Okay, good. Next time the chin is towards the left shoulder, we're gonna hold that. And would you please open your eyes and look and just see where your nose is pointing. So wherever your nose is pointing, that's where your gaze is. Hold your gaze there, looking to the left. Hold whatever you're looking at, stay looking at it, but begin to turn your head a little bit away, like you're going to go over to the right shoulder again. And then release, bring your chin back towards the left shoulder, your chin and your nose and your gaze is exactly the same direction. Hold the gaze there, but begin to turn your nose and your chin back to the right. And just try that one more time. If this is terribly upsetting, and sometimes if there's a lot going on with your optic nerve today or other things, you might not be able to do this comfortably. So just close your eyes and rest here for a moment. And then let's let that go. Let's inhale out of the twist, rest in a seated mountain pose. And I'm going to suggest closing the eyes here. And to release even more tension from the eyes while they're closed, you might really squeeze them. And then relax on purpose. Take a deep breath. Relax the jaw. Relax the muscle of the tongue. Relax your hair follicles. And then when you're ready, inhale, sit up really tall. Exhale, gather the belly muscles in and twist to the left. Keep the chin aligned over the breastbone. And bring your eyes with you as you gently turn to the left and turn your head to the right. These are very gentle movements with the head. I can't emphasize enough that we're not trying to stretch the neck. We're just moving naturally. The next time you have the chin over towards the right shoulder, hold your head in this alignment. Notice what you're looking at, so your gaze is in the same direction as your nose and your chin. Hold your gaze at that point, but begin to turn the head, and it won't go as far as it did before, obviously. And gently try that a couple more times. So gaze is focused on that point out to the right, but your nose and chin are moving slightly to the left. Again, if this leaves you feeling dizzy or anxious, of course, close your eyes and rest. And then after you do that a couple times, release the twist. Squeeze your eyes shut if you want an additional stab at relaxation of the eyes, and then relax the whole face. Take a deep breath in and out. And then when you're ready, let's move down to the floor. You're welcome to put your socks and sweaters back on, assembling things that will help you feel warm and cozy. We're just going to do one more little bit of movement when we're down on the ground. Likely the eyes can be closed for all of this part. So while you're lying on your back, bend your knees, please, like we did at the beginning of class. And begin to connect to your breath. And as you inhale, stretch out the right leg. And as you exhale, bring the right knee in towards the chest. Inhale, drop the right foot and stretch out the left leg simultaneously. Left leg stretches out. Exhale, hug the left leg in towards your chest. Inhale, stretch both legs out along the floor. And exhale, hug both knees in towards your chest. Let's repeat that. Inhale, right leg stretches out. Feet can be on the floor. Exhale, hug the right knee in. Inhale, release the right foot to the floor, stretch the left leg out at the same time. Exhale, hug the left knee in. Inhale, stretch both legs out along the floor. And exhale, hug both knees in. And then just repeating that pattern one more time at the pace of your own breath. Keeping your eyes softly closed. And then when you've done that whole sequence, adjusting into a comfortable relaxation position, maybe it's Shavasana. Dorothy, I'm going to unmute your microphone now. Dorothy is providing that lovely live background. As you rest. Thank you so much, Dorothy. While we're resting, you may want to take awareness to your eyes again. And gently lift your arms so that your hands can be positioned above your eyes. If you have eyeglasses on, you might want to take the eyeglasses off. And Dorothy, you're welcome to join us in this. You can do it from seated or from lying down. And then so position the palms over your eyes so that there's some warmth maybe radiating from your palms. You don't actually have to touch your eyes, although you can if you want. Eyelids are closed, bathing the eyeballs with some warmth and nutrition. And then very, very slowly, without moving your head at all, slowly take your eyeballs over to the right and then over to the left. And then go back and forth a few times, trying to go as smoothly as you can across that horizon, as slowly as you can. And after you've done that maybe 3 times, go to the top of your eye sockets and then move the eyeballs to the bottom of the eye socket. So go up and down. Again, your head doesn't move, simply the eyeballs are moving in the eye sockets. After you've done that a few times, go on the diagonal, from the top corner on one side to the bottom corner on the other side. Again, we're aiming to move the eyes as slowly and smoothly as possible. And then switch to the other diagonal. And then slowly take your eyeballs around in a full circle, full round. Keep your jaw relaxed. Keep the tongue muscle pooling in the bottom of your mouth. Take the circle in the other direction, nice and smoothly and slowly. And then scrunch your eyelids up, scrunch your eyes up, squeeze, and then relax. Let your arms come back to your sides. And let's just stay there for about 3 breaths. Easy, neutral, simple breaths. As we prepare to transition back to whatever comes next today, whatever you were directing your attention and energy to during your earlier practice, know that you can come with the fire in your belly, not just the antennae protruding from the eyes. You've got all this power in the belly. You're hopefully far more connected to it now. And you can come at the day with that deep confidence and that deep sense of strength. Okay, make a few small movements and come over to your side so you can rest on your side. And eventually press up from the floor. Let's finish our work together today by sharing the sacred sound of Om. I've got my hands together at my heart. And then when you're ready, we can inhale. Namaste.